what's good, Commanders fans? Just want to make a quick video. If you hear my kids in the background, they just got home from school and whatnot, or my oldest son, so that's probably you guys gonna hear. But I will be on Rio Robinson's channel tonight with Louis T, and Street Score should be a blast, celebrating the 3-on-1 start. Don't want to celebrate, but just embracing and acknowledging how good of a quarterback Jay Daniels already is. There has been in the first 4 games of the season, and 2 big back-to-back wins. Against the Cardinals and Bengals on the road for sure. We're on a 3-game winning streak, aren't we? Yeah, we are. It's crazy, a 3-game winning streak, and being the top of the NFC East. But so this is from Ustadium. I don't know how reliable Ustadium is. Ustadium on Twitter, they have 58,000 followers. So I'm not sure if they've ever gotten anything correct as far as like rumors and reports and stuff like that. But Ustadium's they tweeted, "This Adams situation will move quickly. Both sides want to get it done. There are multiple teams expected to show immediate interest. We're told the Jets and Commanders are expected to be involved." Now, the Jets sounds very realistic. Commanders sounds realistic too. I'm not gonna lie, because we do need to add talent to the wide receiver room. I like the guys that we have already. Terry McLaurin's a number 1 in my opinion. You can disagree, whatever. I think he's number 1. I think he's an elite receiver. Noah Brown's a good number 3 or a good number 2 in the league. He's shown he's been a good number 3 in the league with the Texans and the Cowboys. And then Luke is developing. Alameda had a great game. Diami's Diami. We know what he's going to do. He's going to give you like 10 catches a year. So we just accepted who he is. And then who else do we have on the roster? Alameda, Luke, Terry, Noah, Diami, and that's the only guys I can really remember. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody, but that's really about it. Wide receiver by committee at this point, which I'm fine with. Eckler is like another wide receiver out there. Zach Ertz is basically like another receiver out there. He'll give you 3 or 4 catches, get you at least. He'll move the chains for you, and that's fine. I'm fine with what Zach is doing at this point. And Ben Sinnott hasn't woken up yet, and Jeremy McNichols, we can use him in the pass game too. But so he said, he said there are multiple teams expected to show immediate interest. We're told the Jets and Commanders are expected to be involved. Now, Davante Adams, we know he badmouthed the fan base. He talked about the stadium. The stadium is awful, but saying DC is a terrible city was wrong on his behalf. But last week on a podcast with Kay Adams, he said that the Raiders wanted to draft Jaden Daniels. He wanted to draft Jaden Daniels. Antonio Pierce yesterday likes a post that says Davante Adams most likely took his last snap in a Raiders uniform. I said in my last video, that's something that you usually don't see. A coach liking an Instagram post basically saying this is the player's last time on a team. I mean, that's just insane. But this is 2024. This is what you see. And then Antonio Pierce said that some players made a business decision. Then Davante Adams has a play on Sunday. And then basically he said on the K Adams today that he's just going in to work out, and reportedly that he is going to be traded. Now, as I was saying, that there was a report that the Raiders are making calls to gauge interest on Davante Adams. Josina Anderson also tweeted out, just spoke to a league source indicating an NFC team would have interest in Davante Adams, but not currently for a 2nd-round pick. Sounds like restructuring would be needed in this particular case too. We'll keep adding to the prospect list. So we have the cap space. We have the picks. We have the draft capital. We got the 3rd-round pick for Jahan Dotson. We have 2 thirds, 1 second, and a 4th. So, I mean, if they want a 2nd-round pick, I wouldn't do a 2nd at this point. Davante Adams, I mean, he's a great player. He's a top 15, top 10 receiver in this league for sure. Definitely a top 10 receiver in the league for sure. He's 31 years old, so still not too old. Perennial Pro Bowler, all-pro guy. Just not, they're not really maximizing his talent with the Raiders right now. Would he make Jaden better? I think so. Would he make Terry better? I think so. He would make this team better, and that's a fact. But I think at the end of the day, you have to focus on chemistry. I think right now we have the best chemistry right now. I think everybody gets along. Everybody's playing well. There's no egos. And Davante's not the biggest ego guy, but I just think we don't need another guy coming in and saying, hey, I need 10, 15 targets a game. I think this offense right now is a spread the wealth kind of offense at this point. I think if we're going to get a receiver, I'd rather get one in the draft coming up. And I'm always the guy that's going for big names. I love that. I love getting stars and big names and all that. But I just think with this offense and what Cliff is doing, it doesn't require a bunch of big names. I think it requires a Terry McLaurin, of course. You need a wide receiver 1, which we already have. But you have potentially a 3-headed monster in B-Rob, Eckler, Jeremy McNichols. I think the personnel right now, and Jaden's making the offensive line better. I just don't think we need a guy who may come in and be upset and pout that he's not getting targets. And that's what Terry doesn't do. Terry doesn't pout that he's not getting targets. He's patient. Him and Jaden are getting chemistry. I just wouldn't mess anything up right now. I think what we have going is a great thing right now. And I just wouldn't mess with it. I think the chemistry is more important than big names and stars at this point. That's just my opinion on it. Like I said, you guys know I'm usually a guy who wants the star and the big name or whoever, whatever. And not necessarily just the big name, but I do want them to come in and get talent for a young quarterback. But I think he's making a shake and making it happen with the guys that we got. Luke McCaffrey, him and Luke are getting more of a chemistry each game. Him and Noah Brown getting chemistry each game. Him and Terry more chemistry each game. But Albert Breer also tweeted out too, as for return on Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams, Keenan Allen would be an interesting comp. Him and Allen around that same age. Allen is 8 months older than Davante Adams, had 108 catches for 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns last year. Similar price, Allen in a contract year. Allen brought the Los Angeles Chargers a 4th-round pick of the Chargers Bear Street. So if you get a 4th for Davante Adams, it is kind of like, man, that is hard to turn down. It really is. That is hard to be like and stick your nose up. And you only get him for a 4th-round pick. And this is the thing, too, with his contract. So he is about to kick up to $35 million per year. But if you make a trade this week, it will cost the team about $13.5 million for the rest of the year, which is not bad. Each week, the number drops by $968,000. Adams has no guaranteed salary in 2025. So there's some things that work out. There's some things that work out with the contract. It's not as bad as it seems, the $35 million per year that it says on Spot Rack. And we have this we have the cap space. We do. We have the cap space. I think we're going to be competing with the Cowboys. They're looking for another receiver. How about CeeDee Lamb? I think the Jets are a competitor. I think the Rams are a competitor with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua being out. And the Chiefs with Rashee Rice being out for the rest of the year. So that's the competition I think we have from other teams. So yes, it does sound crazy that I don't prefer it. And I would not make the move right now. Maybe let's see where we're at 2 weeks from now, after the Browns-Baltimore game, and who do we play after Baltimore? Let's see where we're at after those games. That's just my opinion on it. I wouldn't do it and tinker with the chemistry with the guys that we got right now. We play Carolina after Baltimore, and then the trade deadline is right after the Giants game on November 3rd. So I just wouldn't tinker with it. I really wouldn't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You always want to add talent, but right now I would just kind of keep cooking with what we got. I mean, we're already moving the chains. We're not punting the football. We're scoring touchdowns. We're great on 3rd down conversions. We're great on 4th down. I mean, every category, every statistical category, we're basically first in the league. Completion percentage, rushing, top 5. 3rd down conversions, top 5. 4th down conversions, top 5 are the best in the league. So, I mean, it's like that's just the way I'm looking at it right now. That's just the way I'm looking at it right now. Brandon Ayuk, I wanted him before the season started, but after seeing how good we're playing as a team and as a unit in the offensive line as well, I wouldn't go after Davante Adams right now. I think a corner would be something to look at, but there's not a lot of available corners via trade in the draft. And right now we're going to be drafting too late in the 1st round to get Travis Hunter. So Travis Hunter is going to be out of our range. Maybe McMillan from Arizona, he might be in our range. And that's about it from a wide receiver standpoint in the draft. Or maybe T. Higgins free agency next year or somebody else. Christian Kirk or Amari Cooper. I said this before. Amari Cooper is kind of who I would be looking at a little bit more than Davante Adams, just because of the money-wise. And he is more of a reserved guy. Doesn't complain much. And like I said, Davante Adams, he's not like a complainer. He's not like Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham or anything like that. But Amari Cooper is somebody that I would keep an eye on. You look at his contract. His cap hit right now is only $605,000 if a team wanted to trade for him at the trade deadline. So Amari Cooper is somebody to keep an eye on after this game. After we play them and most likely beat the Browns, I would actually take a look at Amari Cooper. But I wouldn't be banging on the table for Amari Cooper. I like the guys that we got. Luke is top 5 in separation. Olamide Zaccheaus has been playing well so far. There's a stat on him. There's like he's ranked 2nd in yards after catch per reception per PFF, minimum of 10 targets. So even Olamide is playing well too. So that's why I wouldn't make a move at this point. Jameson Crowder's on the roster too, busy punt returner. All right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Like I said, 8 o'clock, I'll be on Rio's channel. Hail to Commanders as always. Peace.